What if the things that crack you open, that seem to break you, are actually the things that make you whole again? December 2009, in a hospital in Germany, after a few hours of labor, following the instructions of the experts, I finally felt the moment of giving birth for the first time arriving. But, red alert button pressed, high stress, and the last words I heard being, "We're making the incision now." Pain woke me a few hours later, and I wasn't even able to answer the question if it's a boy or a girl. A few hours later, I saw my baby for the first time, fully closed, and the rush of being a first-time parent just took over, and I boxed the experience and hid it deep down. So then, a year and a few months of exciting first parent life later, came the shocking moment of another positive pregnancy test. I definitely wasn't ready to give birth again. I told my husband over there that I will lock myself in the bedroom and I come out when this baby is miraculously there. Understandably, he didn't like the idea. So I took a deep breath and I faced reality. My husband went out to find a midwife for a home birth, and I went out to find a person to help me deal with the first trauma. We both succeeded, and the journey began. I understood that I was keeping the trauma alive by plunging right into the turbulent emotions whenever I thought or talked about the experience. I relived the moment as if it was happening right now. So I started to train myself with breath work, with anchor points, to keep myself out of the overwhelm of the first experience. And step by step, I started to see that I can stay present with myself while experiencing strong emotions like pain, fear, despair, and at the same time being connected to those emotions within my body. And the second thing I did, I educated myself. I read books about midwife training to really understand what was happening there with my body. What do I need in those situations? What does the baby need? What does my body need? And with this, I also started to see what was the breaking pattern of the first birth. It was actually a pattern that worked in a lot of situations. Whenever I thought I need an expert, I left myself outside of the door, in this case the hospital door, and I became a puppet on a string for the experts to play with, but they didn't know it. So this time I took myself into the process. I established a really deeply trusting relationship with the new expert, the midwife, and I kept myself present in the whole process. So when the day of the birth arrived, it went beautifully normal. No drama, no complications, just painful and exhausting. So mission accomplished, trauma released, normal birth experienced. But is normal really good enough? The third time I was pregnant, there was a little voice within me telling me to look around me. there are stories out there of flow-like, painless birth experiences. And with this thought in my mind, the next step of the journey began. I started to connect deeper with myself, to really truly listen to what was going on inside me. And with this, the thought that came up was, okay, for me, if I'm doing something where I need to be fully present, everything around me, especially other people, are a distraction. So the idea that I allow myself slowly to rise up was this of a solo birth. With this, like taking root within me, a ton of thoughts, beliefs, fears started to rise. And I committed to step by step work through them, while at the same time preparing for all options, for hospital, home birth, and a solo birth. We found a doctor, Sarah Schmidt, who is a specialist and also experienced in solo births. She has written a comprehensive book about everything you need to know, especially all emergencies. That was Marcus' focus. He could recite this book backwards and forwards, I think in his sleep during this time, while I really went deep within me on this journey to like find out what is it that I need to be so in tune with myself that I could, in a real life challenge like a birth, react smoothly with whatever comes up. So again, with breathwork, meditation, I trained myself to see my emotion, to process them. I trained my fear reaction regulation, and I absolutely focused on keeping my body and my mind relaxed no matter what was happening within me and around me. So on the day the birth started, the older kids were with my parents, and my husband fortunately respected the space I needed. And it was undescribably amazing. It was this beautifully orchestrated flow between me, my body, the baby, and the whole process. There was just one moment when the intensity flared up that I became a little insecure, but I realized that was the moment to invite my husband in to experience those last minutes together. And with this, we already have a happy ending. Do you agree? But it's not the end yet. There is another, we got another chance. And this inner voice of mine showed up again, nudging me. You know what? Maybe this time it would be great to let other people in again. And maybe now with this experience, this could be even better. Giving birth at this time felt like Agmade Wiesen, as we say in Bavaria, or in more serious words, a well-trained, safe process for me. So I knew I could do it alone. But there was this feeling, we talked about community and all this, that with this like knowledge I've gained during this journey about me and what I needed, that this might be the great opportunity to let people support me and make it even better by this. So when this thought really took root, we found a midwife, an amazing midwife, and the first gift I became was already during the pregnancy. She supported me in a way that the pain and the hurt that fueled like my journey to become the woman capable of a solo birth could finally heal. And then the birth itself, as with all natural processes, was a surprise again. Our baby was born so fast that even my husband nearly missed it. And our midwife arrived minutes after the birth. But still, she brought like this energy into the room together with her trainee that created a joyful, magical, trust-building whole afterwards that included the older kids, my husband, and all of us. And she kept continuing this energy for like the first few weeks. And it was one of the most empowering things to experience by making myself open to be vulnerable again, to actually gain so much more than I could ever have imagined or achieved by myself. And this is the end of the story. And I invite you all to maybe step into my footsteps, not by giving birth, but with other things. Start to really listen to yourself. What I learned there is the voice, we know it. We know our inner voice, but we rarely dare to listen fully. Start to really understand yourself. Understand your mistakes, the things where you normally have this critical voice within you. Be the one that understands you. Trust yourself, this wisdom within you. Find your support mechanisms, like I found them with breathwork and meditation, yoga, and all this stuff. And empower yourself. And by this, generate the strength to embrace the full power that we all have together. And that's it. Thank you.